Championship Wrestling from Florida was the corporate and brand name of the Tampa, Florida wrestling office. It remained in existence from 1949 until 1987 when it closed down. It is also referred to as Florida Championship Wrestling, as when Mike Graham tried to return to promoting, the rights to the original name had been acquired by an outside party, forcing him to use an alternative name. It was 1949 in Florida. While the Florida hurricane was causing $52 million in damage, Harry Truman was beginning his second term as U.S. President, cable television was born in the mountains of Pennsylvania, and Cowboy Clarence P. Luttrall was opening the Tampa, Florida wrestling office, a former journeyman heel wrestler who once took a severe beating in a widely publicized boxing match with 40-something Jack Dempsey. Because of health reasons with Cowboy, Eddie Graham bought into the promotion in 1961 and took over completely in 1971. The office was a member of the National Wrestling Alliance during the entire CWF era, Eddie Graham serving as 2 terms as NWA president. CWF became a staple in many southern households in the 1970s and 1980s, with Dusty Rhodes arguably its most noted headliner, his babyface turn beginning in 1973 against former partner Pac Song. The promotion competed against other syndicated shows on Saturday night like The Lawrence Welch Show and Solid Gold for years. The promotion thrived with such stars as NWA champion Lou Thez, Gene Kiniski, as well as Don Curtis, Sam Steamboat, The Great Malenko, Johnny Valentine, Hiro Matsuda, Bob Orton Sr., and later Bob Orton Jr., Chief Jay Strongbow, Wahoo McDaniel, Terry and Dory Funk Jr., Jack and Jerry Briscoe, Buddy Colt, Dusty Rhodes, Barry Windham, Mike Rotunda, Mike Graham, and Kevin Sullivan, whose cult-like army of darkness got tremendous heat from the fans and, in the words of the promotion's legendary commentator Gordon Solie, a host of others. Solie's deadpan interviewing style often contemplated the outlandish behavior and actions of Sullivan and his minions, bringing a legitimacy to the on-air segments no matter what depth Sullivan would descend to. Dusty Rhodes stands out among the noted performers because of the number of rivalries he had on air through most of CWF's broadcasting history. Well-known heels, newcomers, and babyfaces who turned heel during their tenure with CWF often sought out Rhodes to make their names in the territory. His rivals over the years included superstar Billy Graham, Ray Stevens, Ernie Ladd, Ivan Koloff, Ox Baker, Ron Bass, Kamala, Abdullah the Butcher, Ric Flair, his old Texas Outlaw partner Dick Murdoch, and of course Kevin Sullivan. When Eddie Graham committed suicide on Super Bowl Sunday in January 1985, responsibility for the office went to Hiro Matsuda and Duke Kiyomuka, both of whom bought in the 1960s. Other remaining owners were Mike Graham, Skip Gossett, Dusty Rhodes, and Buddy Colt. The promotion continued to lose money and merged with Jim Crockett Promotions in February 1987. Most of the stars had already gone to Jim Crockett or the WWF by that point. The CWF filmed and later taped its weekly TV wrestling show at the famed Sportatorium in Tampa, Florida. In reality, a small television studio with seating for a live audience of about 100 people, with the wrestling office and gym in the same building. CWF spin-off shows were Championship Wrestling Superstars, Global Wrestling, North Florida Championship Wrestling, United States Class Wrestling, American Championship Wrestling, and Southern Professional Wrestling. On March 2nd, 2006, it was announced that the CWF tape library was purchased by World Wrestling Entertainment for the DVD on Dusty Rhodes. In 2007, WWE revived the promotion as a development territory under the name Florida Championship Wrestling. In 2012, the promotion began operating under the NXT Wrestling banner, dropping all references to FCW and CWF. The Florida version of the NWA Brassknuckles Championship was a secondary professional wrestling championship defended sporadically in the Florida territory. As its name suggests, the title was contested in matches in which the participants wore brass knuckles, and it existed from 1960 until the title was abandoned in 1984. Notable champions included the One Man Gang, Blackjack Mulligan, Dick Slater, Sonny King, Black Bart, Killer Carl Cox, Steve Kern, Rocky Johnson, Tarzan Tyler, Dusty Rhodes, Jack Briscoe, Paul Jones, Bearcat Wright, Boris Malenko, and Bobby Duncombe. The NWA Florida Television Championship was also a secondary title. It existed from 1970 until 1987. Notable champions from that era included James J. Dillon, Pat Patterson, Pedro Morales, Barry Windham, Don Morocco, Baron Von Raschke, Sweet Brown Sugar, and David Von Erich. The Florida version of the NWA World Tag Team Championship was a primary title for tag teams in CWF that was used between 1961 and 1969. CWF introduced their version of the NWA World Tag Team Championship in January 1961 when they introduced the Von Brauners as the NWA World Tag Team Champions. Records are unclear on how the Von Brauners became the champions, and it's possible that they were just simply billed as champions upon arrival. In 1969, CWF abandoned the NWA World Tag Team Championship with the Mask Infernos as the last champions. CWF later used the NWA North American Tag Team Championship, the NWA Southern Tag Team Championship, the NWA United States Tag Team Championship, and the NWA Florida Global Tag Team Championship. The Von Brauners hold the record for the most championship reigns, 6 in total, as well as the longest combined reigns with at least 540 days. The Von Brauners' first reign and the first reign of the championship lasted at least 196 days, with the longest individual reign. Eddie Graham held the championship on 7 occasions with various partners. The shortest individual reign lasted 9 days as Eddie Graham and Jose Lothario held it from October 25th till November 3rd, 1966. The NWA Florida Heavyweight Championship was a major title in CWF and is now the major title in NWA Florida Wrestling Alliance. It started in 1934, predating the formation of the NWA, and was abandoned in 1949. It was picked back up in 1966 by CWF and lasted until 1987 when the company was purchased by Jim Crockett Promotions. That was the untold story of championship wrestling from Florida.